Welcome to the Natural Genius podcast. We're here to help you tap into your natural genius. Let's go. You're about to meet a very welcoming, kind, generous, and wise growth marketer who specializes in startups and education. Waris is a very uplifting person, and I hope you enjoy hearing from him. Waris, thank you so much for your time. Welcome to the Natural Genius podcast.
Thank you for having me there. I'm so excited. Thank you for having me.
You Waris. I was saying when I was doing the introduction that you would be most likely to earn the most uplifting person award anywhere you go.
Thank you. That's an honor.
Well, it's true, and many have said it, and we've got ever so slight delay, but we'll carry on regardless. But you were saying in Da Nang that the people there are just so kind and uplifting, and I was saying that you are probably attracting life.
I think so. I mean, the universe works in mysterious ways, and you happen to find your people, you happen to find your tribe everywhere you go. Vietnam is one of my favorite countries. I think the favorite country in the world of all the countries I've been to so far. And I think it's because of the people. The people are so happy. And I mean, if you go and look into the history, these people have suffered so much in the last 100 years. And that also makes someone like good from inside, like suffering together and helping each other out in the suffering. So I guess that's one of the reasons. But the thing is, these are the best people in the world, and I love Vietnamese people.
That is high praise indeed, Waris. And tell me, have you always been into motorbike riding? Because it looks like you really love it.
Actually, no. I have been more into cars than motorbikes. I, in fact, considered motorbikes to be incredibly dangerous, which they are, unsafe. And I read all the metrics that the most accidents that happen on especially Indian roads are two-wheel motorbikes. And that all made me not want to ride. But then I blamed the mountains. I was in Himalayas for like 1 month, and I saw so many incredible riders, so many beautiful motorcycles conquering those terrains. Like, mountains are difficult, like they are not easy. Mountains will kill you if you make mistakes. They're not forgiving. And in those mountains, it's amazing to see those motorcycles just conquer them, basically. So that inspired me to go and learn. I learned motorcycling like 3 years ago. I didn't know before that. And I bought a used one, learned with that, and sold it, bought a new kind of my dream one right after that. And I have that right now. It's a Triumph. And I love like taking it everywhere, wherever I go. It's basically freedom, like freedom to explore, freedom to just venture into the unknown.
Oh, wow. And Waris, do you often have your wife on the back, or is it often solo trips? How do you like to travel?
Both. I love both. It's best of both worlds. I'm optimizing so that it's also comfortable for her and it's not a pain. We have had a long trip together. It was a 6-hour one-way journey. And we both rode on the motorcycle. We had a near-death experience as well, but we're not going to talk about that. Yeah.
We're not talking about that because we're talking about future motorbike experiences.
Yeah.
Waris. And what about other places in Southeast Asia? Where else have you been other than Vietnam?
So I've been to Thailand, everywhere in Malaysia, almost everywhere. Everywhere in Vietnam, Singapore. Also, India is also part of Asia. It's not Southeast Asia, but I've been to a lot of places in India and nearby. And wherever I travel, I try to travel as extensively as possible. So I'm not going to like Google the top 3 destinations and visit them and call it a day. I'm going to look at all the places that locals are going to. In fact, I try to avoid the places that are the top 2 or top 3 places at a point. Like example, Kuala Lumpur. Batu case there is one of the top things to do in Kuala Lumpur. I've been to KL like 7, 8 times. I have not been to Batu Caves. So I just try to avoid those places. But yeah, I travel extensively, and wherever I go, I try to explore that place, really go in depths of that place. And I did that with Vietnam. I was traveling with like a couple of my friends, and we explored the country from south to north. Whenever I tell this to a Vietnamese person, when they ask me that, "Oh, you've been to Vietnam? Where have you been to?" And whenever I try to tell them my story, their reaction is the same. "Oh my God, you've been to more places than I have been to." Or, "Oh my God, you've explored everything in that country." Doing all of this made me realize that, okay, so Vietnam is my favorite country in the world.
I love that. I've had friends that have travelled by motorbike or by push bike, and like a convertible, but even smaller. We were talking about loving culture and uplifting people. Waris, where do you think it comes
Yeah.
from in you? Where do you think that this beautiful generosity and open-heartedness comes from?
Thank you. It all came when I spent a lot of time with myself in my last 2 years of school. I'll tell you a bit of a story here. In my last 2 years of school, my grade 11th and 12th, I enrolled into this program that trains you for college. And it's basically they replace the school. Like it's 6 hour program. Instead of going to school, you do that and you end up getting the school degree. And that allowed me to spend a lot of time with myself. And I used to study a lot back then. And after my exams ended of grade 11th, I got a huge holiday. It was like a 2 month holiday from school. Like I had nothing on my plate. Uh, so that made me sit alone with myself a lot and just talk to myself. Someone said this, that one of the hardest things for a person to do is to sit with a room with himself. I did a lot of them, and that led to a lot of realization, self-awareness, and just a lot of like philosophies. I consumed a lot of content in terms of reading books and everything, because this is like 2018, 2019 we're talking about. I read a lot of books. I watched a lot of YouTube videos and some documentaries and long form videos, basically. And that made me aware of a lot of things, a lot of philosophies, aware of one philosophy, that the world is a huge place. And if you are not traveling, if you're just sitting in one place, it's like going to a huge hotel and staying in one corner of one room and calling that your world, that entire view. So you should explore, you should move out, you should try to explore what's out there.
You've taken that and run with it, Waris.
I mean, you asked me that, so it just came to my mind.
So, Waris, tell me how you came to be at Network School and how we came to meet.
I obviously wanted to grow in terms of my career, personal development, and everything. And I've been following Balaji on X. How did I find out Balaji? It was through Naval. I was always keen on startups and that side of the world. And Naval Ravikant led me to Balaji. And Balaji, when he launched Network School V1, that's when I wanted to come, but I couldn't because of I had some things going on with my personal life. So I waited. I had to miss that opportunity. And when I got that email. They sent out that, hey, we are launching again V2. I instantly signed up. It was midnight. I'm on my laptop at midnight. I work US times. Saw the form. I filled it in 5 minutes, and then just moved on with my life, because I didn't plan to come to NS. I just thought that, okay, so it's something. Let me just fill it out, and we'll see. I got accepted. What do I do now? Should I go? Should I not go? Like, what should I do now? Then I started doing my research. That, okay, let me try to find out what this place is. Back then, there was no resources. There was only one video on Instagram from Dhara, DC, that day in the life at Network School. But there were very few videos, photos, and all. The only photo was that Forest City's skyscraper, that landmark building, which didn't look real. So I was a bit concerned. And hearing that it's a ghost city, it's an abandoned ghost town, no one lives there, it's on a random ass island. That all made me more concerned. But then I decided to take the risk because there wasn't a lot to lose, and I was in Delhi. I was in my home for longer than I should have been. And I just wanted to get out somewhere. So I said yes. I paid the first month fee. I thought, let me try 1 month. I had a beautiful home, so I didn't want to leave that behind. My wife was busy in that month, so I had to come alone. And somewhere around the middle of the month, I realized that I need to stay here longer. I was incredibly sad knowing that I would leave in a couple of weeks. So I extended by 1 more month and then headed back home. Uh, Showed everything to my wife. Tara basically lived the NS experience through my eyes. Every meal, every event, she had the photo of that thing. I tried to replicate some of the things from NS back in Delhi because obviously I lived there for 60 days. I had my bit of learnings and lessons, but it's so difficult to do that. It's NS. The best thing about NS is the effortlessness. Like it doesn't require a lot of effort. I tell this to people that okay, so you woke up. What's there to do? There is a gym session happening. People are going already. So you just show up there, and after gym, you are hungry and there's already breakfast that ends at 10. So you just go and have a good breakfast. After breakfast, you did your gym, you did your breakfast, you are sweaty as hell. So you go take a shower. And it's a hot environment. So the shower is obviously cold. That cold water gets to your body and reactivates it. So now it's 11 a.m., your gym, breakfast, shower is done. So you just have to go out and get to the co-working and open your laptop and do some work. So by afternoon, you have hit your top two or top three things for your day. And it's just afternoon. So it's so effortless to have a good and healthy lifestyle. I tried to replicate that back in Delhi. I couldn't. So I just thought that, okay, so I need to go back to NS and I need my wife to experience NS. So we both decided to spend 1 month of July in NS. And on day 10, she decided that we need to shift here. We need to let go of our house in Delhi and we need to move to NS. I really wanted to do that, but I was not saying that because that would basically put a pressure on her. And I didn't want that pressure to be on her because the beautiful home in Delhi, she's the reason that home was so beautiful. She's the one who built that home into that lovely, warm place that was. So I would hate to see her sad. So I was not saying it, but it was her decision that we can rebuild everything. It was us. The home had nothing in itself. It was us that made the house special. I mean, it was bricks and cement. That doesn't make a house special. It's the people living inside it. So we can do it again. So we decided to go back to India, pack our bags, get everything in a container, and just take a suitcase and move to NS. I want to go on a more exploration and business side of things, explore the startup world, explore entrepreneurship.
Why do you think that you love business and entrepreneurship and wanted to do that more than anything else?
I love solving problems, and business and entrepreneurship is that. But I realized that the path that I was on before was not the path I had planned for myself. It was someone else had planned for me. And I think I watched this video from Steve Jobs, and that inspired me to do this. That basically everyone has their own it was, I think it was in terms of exam, like on exam hall, everyone has their own question papers. And if you copy from someone else, like that's stupid on you because they have a different set of questions than you. Everyone has a different set of questions. So you cannot copy someone else's path and write it down on your own. So that was the main trigger. But I think problem solving and just the process of figuring things out, just the process of finding out, that's really exciting to me.
Tell me more about the growth marketing that you do.
I started as a graphic designer and then I pivoted to user experience design because UX design is essentially design plus business. So I wanted to integrate my love for business and love for design in one thing. I did that for a while, and then I joined this boot camp. It's based in the States. It's a business boot camp. Funny how that's where I work right now for the last 1 year. It's called Praxis.
Right? Yes.
Yeah, I joined that as a student, and I got my mentor. My mentor advised me that, okay, so you're young. I was like 19 at that time. And he said that you're 19. You don't have to be so narrowed down to one career path right now. you should be open to different things. And that's what I did. I learned marketing then. And at that time, I was both a marketer and a designer. And I didn't know which one to choose, which one to leave. So I did both for a while. And then I joined a startup as the first hire, the everything guy. And then I eventually got into the boots of a growth marketer. And that's how I pivoted and pivoted and pivoted into growth marketing. And as for growth marketing, that growth marketing might be a confusing term for many. And it actually is just a fancy made up term for a marketer who is responsible for growth. When I say I'm a marketer, marketing is a huge umbrella. And a lot of people might not know the difference between different types of marketer. But by default, people assume that a marketer is the one who does content, who posts on Instagram. That's the marketer. So that's the content marketer. The growth marketer is responsible for trying to figure out things, figure out ways to grow the company. I ended up starting my own agency at around that time. This is 2023. I started my agency that was both marketing and design agency. Now it's only growth marketing agency. When I was at NS, I was still running my agency. And that's when I was interviewing for my current job. NS has definitely helped a lot in teaching me a lot of things, especially about AI and agentic AI. And that was in my application to NS, that I want to explore agentic AI. So I came to NS, I learned agentic AI, I implemented a lot of things in my agency and automated a lot of things. I then built a few projects, a handful of tools and products. I learned vibe coding, still being a growth marketer, but I was also stepping in shoes of a developer, of a product guy. Yeah, now I am standing at a crossroad of a lot of different skills. I still don't know how to describe my position best, so I just call myself a growth marketer.
And what do you most enjoy doing these days?
Mainly it's education startups. I've worked with I've worked with finance, with therapy companies and coaching businesses, but now I've decided to niche down on my thing that I'm the most passionate about, which is education, specifically alternative education. I would say I'm working on 3 different projects. One of them is my job, which is I work at this company called Praxis. It's basically an alternative to college. We take high school grads and we convince them not to go to college. We teach them their skills, their need for the workforce, and we help them get a job. We offer a minimum salary of 45,000 US dollars, or its money back. And so basically, we offer, we help them get a job offer, we help them get all the skills, and I help grow this company. And I also have build the foundation. So that's one bucket. The second bucket is my personal content. That, as you said at the start of this call, that you've been seeing my Instagram videos. So strategizing that, writing scripts and everything. My wife helps me with editing. So it's good to have a content marketer as a wife. The third bucket is the problem solving. I sometimes fill that bucket with building tools and building products. Just last week, I launched the project that I was working on for past 2 months, a list of all the alternative education companies in the US. So every homeschool company, boot camp, coaching, online school, as long as it's not a traditional school, it's on my website. There are more than 225 companies on that list. You can filter out by location, by price, by delivery, by what do they teach and how they're structured and everything. It's live right now, so I'm back at figuring out what to fill that bucket with. Who knows? I might work on some other product or anything. And I mean, the fourth bucket is travel.
I love that. Waris, you get a lot done. Those buckets, do they turn into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then travel on Friday? And tell me about discipline as well.
It's a bit of different things. It's first of priority and urgency of things. My full-time job, for example, that is more urgent than the side project that I'm building. So that definitely takes precedence. Or the fact that I'm leaving Da Nang in 5 days. So that would put the travel bucket up. That, oh my God, I'm leaving. I need to see those places. I need to go and experience and everything. I need to have another salt coffee before I go. So it all depends based on importance urgency. So I've been exploring and doing a lot of things. I cannot just keep working. I have to structure my life so that I'm also able to enjoy the life. I knew that for
Mm,
like 5, 6 years now. So in
mm,
2021, I, with a friend, co-authored a handbook on productivity because
mhm,
I was such a huge believer of productivity. So it's a small book. We had a goal that we'll write that book in 28 days. This is pre-AI. I know people can do it in one evening now. And we actually finished in 21 days because we used the concepts of productivity to write a book on productivity. And I've been following those concepts myself. That helps a lot.
Have you always been like that, even when you were studying?
I would say so. Not the most diligent and the most disciplined person in the class, but all the teachers and everyone kept saying that, okay, Waris, you're a good kid, you're a bright kid, you study a lot. I was able to get all the grades required. So I think so, but I was not aware of a lot of productivity principles in
Mm,
school. Because I mean, I didn't have anything to do in school other than study and play. But when school ended and when I got access to everything, and the potential was the world,
mm,
that's when I
mm,
decided to actually get intentional about productivity, get intentional about the work because I could be working 12 hours a day, or I could be getting
mm,
the same work done in 4 hours a day and spending the rest remaining 8 doing whatever I like doing. So I had to
mm.
learn productivity.
And Waris, do you have a lot of repeat business?
I did. I said no to a lot of them to focus on Praxis and focus on my own sanity. I don't want to be working 24/7. So right now, I'm the agency is on back burner. We still got a client. Uh, Mainly, it's my wife who manages that.
Mm,
She also have another client, but it's not as much as we used to. And also, we are getting more intention on what kind of work we want to say yes to.
mm.
Anything that pays money was a strategy for beginning. It's not a strategy anymore. Now we are more looking for intent and mission and the impact of that work, basically.
I know you to be really
Uh-huh.
caring and generous. And so I
Mhm.
wonder if that led to a lot of repeat business and a lot of ongoing clients. And
Yeah.
also, I wonder with you too, with being a problem solver, whether that would then make you attractive to lots of clients because you can pick up different special projects.
All the jobs that I've ever had in my career, I've never clicked the apply button to get the job. It's always been through a network, through someone trusting me enough to introduce me to someone else, and that person then trusting me enough to carry on the work. Praxis, for example, the company that I'm working with right now. I have relation with the company for 5 years. I guess you could say that, okay, so that means that they trust me. They trust me enough.
What else do you love to do? Motorbike riding, growth hacking, travel?
I read both fiction and non-fiction. I mean, the book I'm reading right now is biography of Elon Musk. Uh, I admit I would love to read a lot more than I'm reading currently, uh,
Mhm.
but it's especially fiction. Especially fiction. Like I love reading fiction, and I wish I read more fiction right now. But yeah, the current book is just one Elon Musk, the biography. Usually, I have a lot of different books opened like in my library on
Mhm.
my Kindle. Like I know some people are going to hate me for this, but I don't usually finish end to end, especially if it's a non-fiction. If I get the value that I wanted to get out of the book and it's getting repeated, then I'm going to stop it. Or if I
Mm.
get bored, then I'm going to pick another book.
Can't remember if it was Tim Ferriss or somebody like that, that they said we're not all readers that can read from cover to cover. And some people
Yeah.
might need to create their own version of what a completed read is. One of the perspectives was read as far as your energy takes you. And then when you start to slow down, read the final few pages or final chapter, work out what you've missed, and then go back to certain sections to find what you might have missed. And I've said that to a few people, and they
That's
are
interesting.
absolutely horrified. You would read that way. But I can see the point because sometimes in my life
Okay,
I've
yeah,
read
that's interesting.
different books, especially business books, where it's like, they feel
Mm-hmm.
sometimes like they're repeating themselves, and so I'm sort of like,
Mm-hmm.
I just want to move on a bit faster. It's lovely to talk about reading. We're so lucky to have so many different opportunities of different information that we can consume in all different ways. Tell me more about the
Yeah.
supports around you, your relationship with your wife, who I was so lucky to meet in July when we passed the
Yeah.
baton to each other as I was leaving. And a lot of
Yeah.
us can do extra ordinary things because we have great support around us.
Yeah, sure. So I'm so thankful to say that I have a great relationship with my wife. I love her, and she is the sweetest, best human being, the most beautiful human being inside and out on the planet. I'm so lucky to have her. I really love the aspect of having a person that's so close to you and that can relate to you on so many different levels. And that person can understand you on so many different levels. That's unparalleled. One of the best relationships is when two people who are already great friends, they get into a relationship. This is what happened between me and my wife. So we met in grade 9. I like to say that our class teacher was our matchmaker because I went to this new school and she made me sit with her. We literally, after our wedding, we went to that teacher's house and she was so happy to see her. We said, "Thank you, ma'am. You are the reason we're together right now. You made me sit with her on my day one of the school." We've been together since like a decade now, literally a decade now. And we have been through a lot of ups and downs. We were already great friends before coming into a relationship. The impact of her in my life is unparalleled. I mean, I can go on and do a lot of things. I can like venture into unknown because the feeling of stability comes from here. So I don't need to get that feeling of stability from elsewhere, from the world. I can go and take a lot of risk because this side is stable and this side balances that side. I get warmth from here. So I don't need to look out for warmth into my career. So I can take a lot of risks in my career, into my finances, so I can take risks with risky bets and everything. I think this is definitely one of the most unparalleled things in the world.
I love that we can have a lovely little moment to share that about your wife for her and for others to be
Yeah.
inspired and delighted by as well.
I wanted to ask about you and your source of happiness and optimism, because you are the most optimistic and happy person I've ever met. You are the most warm and just smiling. Like uh, I don't think there's ever been a time where I've seen you and you don't have a huge smile on your face. So what was the secret there?
I often say that where we met at network school, for some magical reason, it was so easy to be open hearted and loving. Maybe there's different kinds of co living situations, but this was the most uplifting, and everyone else was happy. So it was easy to be happy. Maybe it's like what you've talked about, lots of different things I've read in life and a desire to be uplifting to others. They talk about as we get older coming back into that childlike state. When I was a kid, there's photos of me with my arms around cousins, and I just want people to be happy, really. NS was a beautiful breeding ground for us to hug each other and look each other in the eyes and pass on love and
That's beautiful.
really believe in each other, don't you think, Waris?
Yeah,
For people to succeed and for us to want to see each other succeeding.
that's true, and that's really beautiful. I love how you mentioned about your childlike state. That's literally how I would describe you. That's so beautiful and so good. And this automatically shifts to your next question, because this is the answer of the next question. I mean, the next question was on advice and something that I'd like to leave people with, and that's basically this childlike curiosity and warmth. I believe like this world, the way it's structured, a lot of people are stripped away of their curiosity. They are forced not to question things, just to be curious, basically. And that's one of the qualities I highly admire, curiosity. You have that quality a lot, like you have chunks of that quality. And that child, and there's this special, like the childlike curiosity, because Children are born with curiosity. They have the most curiosity ever. It's a golden thing to preserve that curiosity in your adulthood.
Tell me what you would love to see in the world, Waris.
I think I would love to see more humans be humans. A lot of humans are not behaving like humans. They're behaving like robots. A lot of people are just optimizing constantly without like taking a moment to breathe and feel and just be grateful for what you have. Be connected to people. That's what I would like to see. People be human.
Some people I know are really concerned about AI and what's being built, and as such don't want to touch it. I wish I could pick them up and put them in network school for a little while to be able to see the inspiring humans that are building there. Having been in that environment, we can see so much potential and opportunity and the need to be able to integrate technology. Tell me about how we retain our humanness and how we expand it through what you've observed.
Ooh, that's a difficult question. Going
Sorry.
back to no, that's fine. So I think going back to our basics, like fundamental things. So childlike curiosity, family values, being a bit grounded and loving nature, and like this comes in a lot of like small ways, like eating real food versus like if someone gave me a pill that replaces all of my meals, I would not take it. That's not natural. That's not fundamental. So one of the all the fundamental things that makes you human, it can be broken down into a lot of different things. If you focus on each of them individually, you will be a more holistic human being for sure. There are obviously more examples. Basically, humans are supposed to be social animals. So people care about people, know who your neighbors are, talk to them. And if you focus on them, then you'll be more of a human. Now, I know you asked, especially in terms of AI. I wish I could give you a good answer to that. I don't have a good answer to that because it's something to figure out for everyone. And even if I gave you an answer to how to tackle AI now, that would be outdated in a month. So I would not go into giving you an exact answer on AI, but I can give you on a human being.
I was chatting with Matt Hart recently, and he's talking about humanware and human intelligence and it being on the top of the tech stack. And it's great to have it represented that way for technologists. I mean, you must be able to fast forward and think growth hacking that you might have been doing 2 years ago, that'll be automated. And then you just go further down many steps down the track, and you think you just need a great idea in the future or a great product, and then so many aspects of the business system will be automated.
Definitely. That's definitely true. I mean, that's why I'm refusing to answer any specific thing on AI thing, because I don't know, like I might become a farmer in the next 5 years. Who knows? I might do that.
I think we're of the same mind. I think it's going to be absolutely fascinating to see how we can automate some things. And the more that I get into natural genius, Waris, the more I think, oh, this is so fascinating because I can see the uniqueness of the individual. And then we're wrapping business around that could be automated. So who knows what comes in the future in terms of people being able to expand their understanding of what they're really clever at in many different dimensions.
Yeah, I mean, who knows what comes next? But I guess all you have to do is be curious and constantly trying to learn what's out there. I think you'll be in a better place.
Waris, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you so much for reaching out, inviting me. I'm really grateful that you did. And thank you for the amazing conversation.
Thanks for listening to the Natural Genius podcast. Please share this with anyone who came to mind and visit us at naturalgenius.com.au. Thanks so much.